Good evening, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rock.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tauvenga-Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news, man dies in house fire. Rape trial for infamous pastor begins. A new procedure for objections to voter registration.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
A 65-year-old man died following a house fire in Lautoka this morning. The businessman, who was diabetic, is understood to have been stuck in his bedroom at the time of the blaze. Ropate Valeme reports.
Mourning the loss of the deceased Patrick Naidu, whose death was too painful to absorb for some.
Only the thing I can say is a good boss.
So he was sick?
The leg problem, because he's a diabetes patient.
Devi, who had been employed by Singh for the past 12 years, recalled the last time she saw the boss.
Because I am the close one. Every day I come and go. And even that day, last, he dropped me too. I work here and he dropped me.
Always get the orders from the people to order the food here. So myself always I cook it for him, and he supply everywhere. Yeah, he was a good person. That's it. I can say he's a good man.
The fire that started early this morning destroyed the 3-bedroom house. Police say the body of the victim was found inside his bedroom. The cause of death will be determined by a post-mortem examination. Investigation into the matter continues. Rapate Valeme, FBC News.
The trial of the infamous Christian pastor and leader of the Jezreel Lion of Judah congregation, Chone Kanuto, began today at the Suva High Court. The facts of the case are disturbing, where he is alleged to have raped female members of his church under false pretense. Shireen Shivan reports from the Suva High Court.
The alleged perpetrator, 55-year-old Chone Kanuto, is charged with 5 counts of rape, 1 count of attempted rape, and 4 counts of indecent assault. The alleged offences took place between 2005 and 2012. The 4 victims were allegedly unlawfully violated by the accused. Prosecution says Kanuto used his religion and the gospel teachings to deceive the women for his sexual pleasure. Taking the stand today was one of the victims who recalled the alleged incident. She was only 15 years old and says she was deceived by the men who she looked up to. She told the court one day during the service, Kanuto told the congregation that all female members needed to be cleansed because women were not clean and that their body, which is a temple, needed to go through a cleansing process. According to the victim, the cleansing process was to perform certain sexual acts with the pastor. The details of the process were graphic. The witness said after the process, the women would become pregnant and bear the pastor's child, who shall be called the child of God. The trial continues in the Suva High Court as witnesses are expected to give evidence this week. The court was also told that the Lion of Judah Church has about 200 followers. Shireen Shivan, FBC News.
The Electoral Commission has approved a new procedure for objections to voter registration. Under this procedure, you can now object and appeal another individual's registration if you know of any falsified details. Akosita Tale reports.
A person who's registered to vote in next year's election can now object to the inclusion of another individual if he or she has failed to meet the requirements to vote.
Individual voters are the best people to identify persons who should not be on the voters register. We, the Electoral Commission and the Fijian Election Office, will act on information we receive.
The grounds for objections include being an underage individual, is not a Fiji citizen, serving a jail term of 12 months or longer, and if someone has been declared to have mental disorder.
We require the voter to declare in a statutory declaration that the voter has made a consensus effort to determine that those factors alleged by the voter are true in best knowledge and belief of the voter.
The objections will be made directly to the Registrar of Voters, who has to conduct an inquiry and deal with it within 14 days.
It's an international principle to ensure that there are mechanisms to ensure the accuracy of the voter register, and I think the objections and appeal rules actually contribute significantly towards reaching that international expectation.
The affected individual must be made aware by the election supervisor during the inquiry, and if an objection is proven correct, the individual will be removed from the voters list. Objection and appeal forms will also be available in election offices around the country. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
The issue of abuse of workers at the Grand Pacific Hotel in Suva could have been solved earlier if the relevant authorities addressed it. This was highlighted before the Standing Committee on Economic Affairs while hearing about the petition on abuse of workers at GPH. Rachel Nath has more.
Questions on effective action by the Employment Ministry were raised by the committee today.
Your department didn't do the right thing. They did not act on the complaints by the unions. And there were some individual complaints.
It was finally resolved. The matter was resolved. The management was terminated, and we now have a new team in there.
Also pointed out was that a petition to Parliament is the last option for any citizen, and this petition suggests the people of Fiji have lost hope in the system.
It's a critical issue here because this is one person who should not have been given a work permit to come and operate in Fiji. How does the ministry intervene in cases like that?
We apologize that it has reached Parliament. I mean, because we have the systems in place that we continually try our best to improve.
Also highlighted by the now GPH management, this issue is 2 years old and the matter has been put to rest.
So this year, only one is pending. Only one filed, one pending. So things are positive at the GPH, and that's mainly due to the management change.
The number of grievances against GPH has reduced drastically over the past years, and this is strongly attributed to the new management. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
Still to come, work underway to minimize plastic bag usage. And anomalies in Health Ministry's books pointed out. Details after the break.
Nimbula vinaka na yavangunga andi moala rarara ranalika o tikongona tau no singatoka ando talisaka na vakaronga na Mbula FM number 2 na serve.
Ya dora subuni kurna bili. Ibora ni batukara hambara binaranga. Do talitakina na varonga na Mbula FM number 2 na serve.
Mbula FM number 2 na serve.
The minimum number of plastic bags used annually in Fiji is around 50 to 60 million, and there is a need to minimize usage of the biodegradable product. Department of Environment Acting Director Aminiasi Ngarangare has confirmed that managing waste and pollution is a priority, as it is a major threat to our oceans. Savara Tambor reports.
So who IPSO is? Today, concerned organisation partnerships discussed the issues of phasing out plastic bags and trying to reach an agreement on acceptable timelines. Department of Environment Acting Director Aminiasi Ngarangare says we need to clean up our surroundings and change our mentality towards this pollution problem.
From the perspective, the conventional plastic bags or single-use ones being used in Fiji today are relatively inert and do not degrade easily or quickly. When disposed of correctly in the landfill, they can take decades to degrade.
Asia-Pacific Regional Team Leader Joseph Dikas advised that the need to have alternatives in place for plastic bags must be made before a decision is made on phasing them out.
We're going to ban plastic bags in Fiji. Yeah, can be done. I'm not suggesting it, by the way. Could be done. But before we do that, we need to make sure there are alternatives in place that the people who depend on this stuff can use. And it's not just plastic bags, there's a whole gamut of other plastics that are used in healthcare, in food and sanitation, in transportation, etc., which need alternatives.
One of the major threats to our ocean's health is the pollution of plastic waste. This byproduct of urbanization and commercialization is life-threatening to the health of the oceans and all life that it supports. Sabira Tambua, FBC News.
A number of Fijians who hope to join the British Army in the UK may now have to return home and await a chance to perhaps join in April. According to social media reports, 200 vacancies were open to all Commonwealth countries on a first-come, first-served basis, with the first phase of training expected to start next month. However, Britain's Ministry of Defence has reportedly been overwhelmed with applications. FBC News understands that some Fijians travel to the UK at their own expense and now risk their visas expiring. British High Commission's Head of Communications, Vinita Nand, has told FBC News that they're looking into the issue. A number of anomalies in the books of the Ministry of Health were pointed out by the Public Accounts Committee today. Rachel Noth reports the 2014 and 2015 audited accounts failed to be accountable.
The audited reports revealed the Ministry of Health's development projects were delayed, resulting in extra cost.
161 days delay at a time. So that incurs additional cost.
Yep.
So someone should be responsible for this additional cost.
Was actually working for the Ministry of Infrastructure and Transport. So any failure on the part of the project architect should be discussed with the Ministry of Infrastructure and Transport.
Committee members question why there weren't any delay damage claims made by the development of the McCoy Health Unit and the CWM Hospital Extension Project.
We will find the files for these two projects from 2012 and 2015. And we will forensically examine them and see what the delays are attributable to and if we are able to claim any delay damages.
The Ministry of Health clarified the projects were previously looked after by another ministry and they're still learning the process of vetting the account.
What action has been taken regarding the officers responsible for these projects? Has the ministry taken any disciplinary process, or what is the ministry taking?
Again, we would need to look back on the files of the individuals concerned.
The lack of clarification and information left the Public Accounts Committee in confusion. However, the Health Ministry has promised to address the question. Rachel Noth, FBC News.
Fiji and Pacific Island Development Forum member countries stand to learn a lot from the Sustainable Development Goals roadmap model that countries in the G7 Plus are implementing. PIDF Secretary General Francois Mertel says he is impressed with how the G7 Plus countries are working towards achieving their 17 SDGs by 2030. The G7 Plus countries have included the SDGs in their national development plans, which will then be implemented in stages.
It's not all about which ones are the priority ones, but which ones you sequence in terms of priorities and the one in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. And I think it's a very, very wise approach instead of trying to do everything at the same time.
Ahead in sports with Jamie, he will have more on the Flying Fijians ahead of the Italy test, but joining us next is Rachel with business.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Duty concessions on cement valid for 3 months. And in growing Fiji, new dialysis center for Lautoka. Stay with us.
Whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Tano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. Leading our business segment tonight, duty concessions on the import of cement will remain available to all companies and individuals for 3 months. The importing of cement will now be zero rated. However, 9% VAT will still apply. The order of quality for concessions orders must be placed and consignments must leave the country of origin before the 9th of September. FIRCA Chief Executive Vishwanath thus has warned businesses that duty concessions must be passed on to customers. Hefty fines and penalties will apply if anyone is found in breach. The General Manager of Fijian Holdings Fund Management Limited, Eleanor Vuniwai, has resigned. Vuniwai joined the FHL Group as an attaché in 2007 and was appointed the General Manager of the fund management in 2015. The group in a statement says she has made positive contributions over the last 8 years. Shaleshni Warren is currently the acting General Manager. And now several nations will release their economic figures in the next 24 hours, influencing the value of our dollar. Here's Savanatha from HFC Bank to tell us more.
Vinaka Rachel. Looking at our economic calendar regarding our basket of currencies, Great Britain releases their consumer price index for the month of May tonight, which is expected to stay at 2.7%. We're seeing a weakening of the pound since the beginning of the month, dropping 21 points over the weekend due to Prime Minister Theresa May's snap election that saw her party lose its overall majority in the House of Commons. It's great news for those wanting to send money across to the UK, but not so great for those remitting money to Fiji from the UK. A little closer to home, tomorrow morning Australia Westpac consumer confidence figures will be released. And also tomorrow we have the Chinese yuan retail sales and industrial production for the month of May, which will have an effect on the Aussie dollar. So tomorrow we find out how these releases will affect the value of their money and the effect on our Fijian dollar. That's it from me, Vinaka Rachel.
Thanks, Savanatha. On to today's exchange rates. The Fijian dollar strengthened against the Chinese yuan and the American dollar to close at 3.22 and 47 cents, respectively. Closer to home, the Australian dollar weakened to close at 62 cents, while the New Zealand dollar rose, closing at 65 cents, and the PNG Kina weakened as well to close at 132. As for the commodities market, oil prices rose to close at 48.78 a barrel. Gold dropped, closing at 1,265 an ounce, and silver followed suit, closing at 16.79 an ounce. And in growing Fiji tonight, a new dialysis center has opened in Lautoka, promising affordable treatment for patients. The Island Kidney Assistance Foundation Fiji is an initiative of a Fiji-born Canadian who has spent around $300,000 on the center. Rapati Valamei has more.
Foundation Chief Executive Rajesh Prasad, who was a kidney patient, says his sickness inspired him to build a dialysis center.
It was 1 year now. We trying to get things together, and we lots of machines we bring from Canada and through LA. So we got right now we got 10 beds gonna go, 10 patients at one time.
The center will charge $150 per treatment.
So I'm trying to get what you call dialysis done here, very cheap. It's gonna be only $150 per dialysis, so people they can afford the dialysis.
Administration Officer Cecilia Daniel says patients have already started making bookings.
And Dr. Malani will be, he is also our doctor who will be looking after the dialysis center for the company, which will be opening, officially opening soon.
The foundation has received 5 dialysis machines from the Vancouver General Hospital and had to purchase another 10 by itself. Rapati Valamei, FBC News.
And that's business this evening. Now to sports. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening in sports tonight. Flying Fijians start preparations for Italy test without a key forward. And AFL Fiji to name final squad this weekend. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकु रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची FM सुनती हूँ. मिर्ची FM is number 1. It's so hot.
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय मैं संध्या नारियल रेफ्रिजरेटर से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन तो हुआ कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
The Vodafone Flying Fijians may be without one of its key players for its test against Italy this Saturday. It looks more than likely that Campese Mafu will miss the match. However, the welcome news for the team is that another experienced front rower has joined camp. Vasil Prasad reports.
One of Fiji Rugby's powerhouse front row, Campese Mafu, will not be part of the match this weekend.
Campese, his father is sick in Sydney and has been hospitalised, so Campese stayed in Sydney to be with his father at this time, and we'll see whether he can fly over later in the week or perhaps he'll miss this game.
However, a boost for the side with prop Manasa Saulo, who has joined the camp.
We'll see how, Manasa's first day in training today. We'll have a look tonight and see how he got through the training and talk to the medical staff, but certainly he's definitely in contention for selection.
Veteran hooker Sunia Koto has rated Saulo highly and says this will be a boost for the team.
It's a good boost with his experience, playing top-level rugby in France, and having him in the team is a boost for the boys.
Also finally in camp is Joshua Tuisova, who is highly likely to make debut in the 15 squad this weekend.
Joshua is also trained today and he's in contention as well.
Patrick Osborne, Levan Imbotia and Pedeli Yato will join the camp this week but will not be considered for the Italy game. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, midfield back Albert Vuli is confident Fiji can bounce back from its loss to the Wallabies last weekend. Vuli, who has not made up his mind on whether he'll pursue a spot for the next World Cup, says his main task at the moment is to help the national side in every possible way. Vasil Prasad reports.
Known as the engine man of the Flying Fijians, Albert Vuli says the team is ready to step up a gear this weekend.
The boys are working hard and doing everything right in the thing, and then not to get a big head too much. But yeah, just one step at a time, and hopefully on Saturday we turn on our game and have a good game against Italy.
Partnering with young Chale Watambua against Wallabies was something new for Vuli last weekend. The 32-year-old 12-cap veteran believes the younger players have been impressive in the test matches.
With Chale was been good. He's a good player. Young boys coming through, and he has a good attitude. And now it's always an honor to play with the younger players.
Despite being a vital member of the team, Vuli says he is focused on currently helping the national team achieve a spot in the 2019 World Cup.
One game at a time. If I'm fortunate enough to get selected again the next year or two, if God willing I'll play.
51-cap veteran Sunia Koto says the backline has been impressive as ever.
We've got new players that are in the Fiji team, so to reward the team, we are aiming to play well and reward the team with a win.
With Chale Watambua missing out on training, coach John Maki could make few positional changes, and there is chances Vuli could likely partner with Vereniki Ngoneva in the midfield against the Italians. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
And with more from the Flying Fijians, Vashnil Prasad joins us live from the team camp and is joined by Olympic gold medalist and robust forward Leone Nakarawa. Vashnil.
So Jamie, with me is the most talked about man in the city, Leone Nakarawa. Leone, first of all, Wallabies done and dusted. Now Italy, how do you think you'll match up with Italy and the forwards of Italy, who are the stronger side and stronger weapon of the side?
Yeah, the boys have been preparing well for this week's game, but last week's game is it's history now. We've been working on our weakness from last week, and we're trying to improve from last week and to go forward for this week.
Italy's forwards will be the main weapon against Fijians?
Yeah, a lot of us we played against them in a club rugby in Europe, and we know them very well. They always go forward from set piece. Scrum and lineouts, and that's what we're working on for this week. and we'll try to. Our job is for us forwards to match them and stop them from going forward.
Your float has been the most talked about thing from the Wallabies match. I know you have been doing that since so many years, but how it is impossible, and again the local fans here will be out to see that?
Yeah, but everything is a team effort. I think that's what the whole team does. When the team goes forward, and then it's easy for you to do your thing. Your individual skills. If the team doesn't go forward, then it's really hard. I think from last week it was based on the team effort that made our individual skills goes up to the standard, and I think that's what we'll be working on for this week. Playing as a team, and then secondly, and then we can do our individual skills.
There you go, Leone Nakarawa. Isova and William Yamata, 3 Olympics gold medalists in the Flying Fijians team, and the public, the fans are expected to come in numbers and see these boys play here in front of our home at the ANZ Stadium. Jamie.
Thank you for that, Vasnil. Now, the Italy rugby side arrived last night for their one-off test against the Flying Fijians. The two teams have played in Fiji 4 times, with the home team winning all 4 matches. The last time they met was in 2014 in Suva, where Fiji won 24 points to 14. The match kicks off Saturday at 2:30 p.m. at ANZ Stadium. Meanwhile, the Fiji Rugby Union expects a huge fan turnout for its second test match of the season when the Flying Fijians meet Italy in Suva on Saturday. Grandstand tickets for the day are $50, while the cheapest tickets for the big match is $5 for children on the grass embankment. FRU CEO John O'Connor says fans should make use of the opportunity to not only support the Flying Fijians, but to also see some of World Rugby's best in action.
Embankment is $30, and the grass embankment is $20. With kids under 12, $5 in the embankment area. And tickets are being sold from Fiji Sports Council office, Fiji Rugby Union office, and also all post outlets. Fiji wide. Just we want access to as much people to buy their tickets and come down and support the Flying Fijians.
AFL Fiji will announce its final men's and women's teams for the 2017 International Cup on Saturday. The 50 men and 50 women squads are in training and will be reduced to 25 each to represent Fiji in Melbourne in August. Meli Tavanga reports.
The men's national team finished 10th in 2014 and are really building to challenge the top teams.
To see the men finish in the top 4, I think that would be a fantastic position for Fiji to finish. We're obviously competing against teams like Papua New Guinea and New Zealand and Ireland, but I really think the preparation that the boys have put in, their natural athleticism and their fitness is really going to put them in good stead.
The women's team, who finished 5th, are also building towards an improved result as well.
Go as underdogs into this leg for this tournament, International Cup, and we're planning to progress either to win the title or just progress from top 5 to 4th or 3rd.
Fiji has the opportunity to enter the elite level with the squad they're developing.
Just focusing a lot on the basics, since a lot of the boys are new, so we just like to get a good foundation before we go.
With 2 more months before the International Cup, the squad is looking strong and prepared. Players have good opportunities to develop over the next few days and press for final selection. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
Peter Burling's Team New Zealand has sailed through to the final of the America's Cup. His boat, which was badly damaged when it capsized last week Tuesday, pushed Land Rover's BAR's campaign to an early end in Bermuda by gaining the 5 wins needed to move forward to the last stage of the competition. That's it from sports this evening. Catch weather later on with Angie, and in new media, find out more about a 3D printer which has been made using materials found in landfills. Stay with us.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera do talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon ko lang do talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kana Domoy Viti.
Ayaw ko yazo sila tale. Nagurara may naomani, nandunga.
gitu tele-tele yang gitu Venezuela ya pun untuk rongo barong na radio Fijian nandu mai biti
na radio Fijian nandu mai biti na bonga ni bienen.
In new media tonight, a Togolese architect has developed a 3D printer using materials found in landfills around the capital of Lome. Sinem Coffee says he can create just about anything from reclaimed materials. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. We had another marvelous sunny day across the country today with no major reports of rain. And we are now entering a cooler season in which we are bounded for cooler nights, so ensure you pull your blankets right up to your ears. Looking at today in the west, sunshine was beaming through with high humidity level. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, rain clouds covered the clear blue skies for a while, but sunny periods moved in. And up in Vanua Levu, Tambasa was fine while Savu Savu had few cloudy periods. At sea, southeast winds 20 to 25 knots with rough to very rough seas. And for the tides, low tide tonight is at 8:54 with a high tide tomorrow morning at 2:46. Sunrise will be at 6:35. For tomorrow, there is no sign of any rain, which means it's laundry day for most. Tomorrow's temps, Nandi will be the warmest at 29 degrees. Looking ahead to Thursday, there is chance of few passing showers with cooler conditions. And that, Jackie, is FBC weather for tonight.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fijian Pulse today, we asked, should we build more recreational facilities for our senior citizens?
From my point of view, yes. According to some elderly people, once they go to recreation center, they look after very well according to their medical health and some sorts of things.
Yes, to keep them fit.
It's a good idea to exercise because it will help them to enjoy.
Yes, we should have more recreational centers for the elderly because many old people dislike staying home. So these centers will be able to provide them activities to keep them happy and cheerful so they live a longer life.
Recapping the main stories, man dies in house fire, rape trial for infamous pastor begins, and flying Fijian start preparations for Italy test without a key forward Sunia Koto. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, can the Vodafone Flying Fijians beat Italy and Scotland? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, today's shot of the day, sunset at Mana Island Resort, sent in by Tevita Nangone Sukanambola. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight from the team and I. Good night.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na radio Fijian and domoy viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kuminasong butikola ndo talita kana radio Fijian kina domoy viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tale, nagurara may naomani, nandunga. Gitu tele-tele yang gitu Venezuela pun nangguntur rongo, barong na radio Fijian nandu may viti.
Na radio Fijian nandu may viti na bonga ni bienen.